Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes. Now it's audible.
Okay, okay. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So, thank you for joining the interview. I will be introducing myself. I will be taking your interview today for the first round, and primarily we will be focusing on Java fundamentals, Spring Boot fundamentals, database knowledge, and your communication skills. Okay. Do you have any question
Okay.
about this?
Yeah. So, and one more thing is, am I supposed to screen share and write code or something like that, or it's going to be a verbal interview?
It will be a web portal only. Will like you'll have to do code on a code pair. I will share the link. Okay.
Okay, sure, sure. Yeah, I will go with my introduction. If okay, I have around 6 years of experience in this industry, and my
Hmm.
expertise are developing APIs and building backend handlers.
Hmm.
And currently, I work for Tarka Labs. Right now, I'm primarily working for one analytics platform where we are trying to bring data from multiple platforms. That's what we are doing. And also, I do have a little bit of exposure on front end as well. And I don't, I'm very comfortable with Java, and also I do have experience in Golang and other languages. Yeah. Thanks.
Great, great. Okay. Okay. ठीक है. Great. So we'll start with this. So okay. Yeah. So there must be one question visible on your screen, right?
Yeah.
So this is, we'll start with the theory first, and then we can go to some actual coding questions. How is Spring Boot different from Spring MVC?
Okay. Um, Actually, Spring MVC, I don't have much exposure on it, but I directly Spring Boot is more advanced than Spring MVC,
Hmm.
and with Spring Boot, you can have all the packages that you wanted. You can with Spring MVC, you can serve views to the page. What I mean by is you can serve pages. You can along with the model data, and also you can with the controller, you can have the handler. With Spring Boot also you can do, but in Spring Boot it does more than this. More than that, you can have a Spring Batch jobs. You can have Spring REST APIs, and
Hmm.
yeah. So Spring Boot is kind of a boilerplate, I would say, for the Spring applications.
Hmm. Okay, but primarily, like I don't know the difference between Spring Boot and MVC because MVC is used for web applications. Hmm?
Application.
Hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
going to the next question. What are the Spring Boot actuators? Have you worked on actuators?
I think LCheck is one of the actuators, if I'm not wrong, but not really. Spring Boot actuators, I don't have much knowledge on that.
Okay, no worries. Can you tell me this process to start a Spring Boot application from the scratch? Like you have to write a new application. How do you do that?
So, I primarily worked on the pom.xml, sorry, not pom.xml, Maven projects. So, how
Hmm.
I go is either we can add a Spring Starter package in the pom.xml dependency as a parent, and we
Hmm.
can proceed with that. That will give you the basic dependencies of the Spring Boot, and also there is this Spring Boot creator website in the Spring from the official Spring website. Also, you can add what are the references you want, and you can just start the project just like that.
So I wanted to know about that part, like selecting the archetype and selecting the uh, uh, like how do you select the package name? How do you select? Can you tell me in that direction?
So okay. So there will be artifacts that we need to select. So
Hmm.
out of this project, what is the build? What is the build name, and where should we stay? how should we call it? So artifacts we need to construct. It comes like a org dot what are the organization that you are working, and those artifacts we can mention, and also the source and test will be there. The source package is a place where we are going to do the development, and there is a test package where we are going to write test cases, and that setup also we need to make sure, and along with that we need to add dependencies in the form.xml. And there is a resources in the resources package. We need to add properties like application.properties and other resources that we wanted to bring into the our Spring application.
Cool. Okay. Okay. Just give me 1 minute. So I will ask one coding question now. Okay. Uh, it must be visible on your screen, right?
Yeah.
Hmm. Oh, do you know what is the advice class in Spring Boot?
Um, so the purpose of advice class is to return the error response. It will contain the error and the message, and those details will be there. And also, we have this annotation called request error and something like that. We can annotate with that, and we can return that class in the response of the HTTP response of the object. I
Okay.
don't exactly know the specific name of the specific purpose of that big class, but for handling errors, that is request error and something we use
Okay.
by response
Uh,
error.
so you can write this code like write code for division of two numbers and write advice class. So I want proper like what suppose there is this implementation that you want to do division of two numbers. What will be the
Mm-hmm.
API structure for the same? Like if you want to give to your client that like you are having one microservice which gives functionality of division of two numbers, right? So you will be exposing one API to the outside, right? So what will be the signature of that API, what will be the output of that API, and write the corresponding controller. So we'll start with that.
Okay. So division of two numbers. Okay. Shall I clear this?
You should clear this and you should select it Java. Uh, give me one minute.
Java. Oh,
Yeah. Yes, it's fine if it does not run. I want it like you just use this as a notepad, this space, right? And tell me like what will be the API signature.
okay. So I will have a two package, assuming I will have two package, controller and service,
Hmm.
and in the controller I will use the controller annotation
Hmm.
for the class that I'm going to use. Let's call this class as um, so the purpose of this API is to divide the number. We are focusing only on division, or I will just accept the two numbers.
Hmm.
Okay. Uh, I will call this as a calculate. This let's calculate, and then at get, there is this annotation called at get request, and The request mapping for this class, we can have a slash calculate. So what I am thinking is, I will call the REST API like this: slash
Hmm.
get method slash calculate, and in the request param, I will send the operands number one, operand one, and operand two, and then I will say operations name equal to division or multiplier or something like that. For now, let's call it as division.
Hmm.
So, and in the response, what I will give is I will okay. I don't need to give the. I will just give the answer as data answer is say success or something like that, and then the result is what are the answer that we are getting. I would go with this string only here. I will I will define the response entity for this class.
Hmm.
Class is um, operation request response entity. Mm. Response entity, not that is this Jackson annotation that I can use for serialization JSON.
Which annotation you are stuck in?
Jackson Jackson annotation to convert the POJO to the JSON format, serializing
Why?
the data mapper.
Okay. Why would you need that?
Oh, I think okay. I was thinking of okay. Anyway, this response entity, this POJO will be sending as a response. Okay, data. I don't think I need that one, but hmm, I'll define the data response or something like that. Data, and we will have as a response. I would say it's string which I called my operations operation class name is I don't know how to call this class actually, but I would like to call this as a operation response, because operation response, calculate, and and I will have this and I will have one more class for the patient request.
Can you tell me
Here I will
if you
say,
are thinking of any design pattern here?
design pattern.
Hmm.
But yeah, for creating this operation response and everything, we might need a builder pattern, constructive pattern for this simpler version of it.
Okay, one is builder pattern. What else pattern?
Um, okay, we might need a factory kind of a pattern. So what I mean by is I mentioned the request as operation one, operation two, operation three, right? So
Correct.
for division we might have to do the we might have to call the division operation, and for multiplication we might have to call the multiplier.
Hmm.
So for based on the operation, we need to call a respective method, and that requires some functory which can tell us which method to call for this operation.
Yeah, you're right.
Very-
Yeah, please write the code for the same.
Okay. I
Take two
mean,
minutes.
it's very easy to write it in IntelliJ IDE, but I lost all the. It's very difficult to. Yeah. Okay. This is. I think for a response or request, all it needs is a getter setter to make it as a responsibility. Let's assume for now there is a data orientation from Nombo. I will just add it for all the. So this is required so that the POJO will be connected to the response from the Spring Boot response entity,
Got it.
and not request method. Sorry, I will post the operation request and input. Okay, this is something I can't get it. So this is not a HTTP request body. The HTTP request I need to pause, and I will maybe I will have something like operation dot from. I will have one method. I will pause the HTTP request, and this will give me the actual operation request. To let's say, and then I would like the math operation factory dot get of op request dot, let's say op request dot get one second, so, up to it's a operation type. You can have a enum or something operation type.
How you are taking in this like controller? Why you have took HTTP request here in line number 44?
So this is the reason I wanted to is because it's a get object, and in the method parameter, if it is a HTTP request body, then it will pass the Java class object directly. But this parameters I am passing
These
it
are
as a
query
query parameter.
query params. So query params के लिए तो there is a separate annotation ना that has to be used here.
Oh, is there a way? So I thought I need to read it from HTTP request object. So, oh, okay. So you're saying I can directly for it params or something like that. So if I say with this, and if I let's say I put it like this, it will automatically put all the value to operation one. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. Path params. Okay. Parameters. I think I might have used it, right? But at this moment, I'm not able to. As I said earlier, right? Without IDE, it's I'm finding it difficult to follow through. But yeah, I mean, yeah, as you're correct. But if the HTTP request, I have tried for sure. That is the reason I kind of entered and was the HTTP request parameter. Um,
Got it. I think we can move to the next round. I am fine with this solution. Yeah.
okay.
Uh, Next question. Yeah. Okay. Um, okay. Very easy question. What is the difference between authorization and authentication?
So, so authentication is to validate whether so both the operation responsibility is to uh, check the entity. So authentication is to check whether the user can log in or not. I mean, whether this is an authenticated user, whether this user can access my portal, whether this user can log into my page. But authorization will come to the picture for accessing the resources. So in a typical system, we might have multiple resources. Authentication tells us whether the system a user can access the system, but authorization tells us on a system what are the resources can this user access. So that is a difference between the authorization and authentication.
Okay. And next question. How do you implement authentication and authorization in a Spring Boot application?
Okay. Authentication, I username for so authentication is some set of implementation. Whether we are going to authenticate the user based on a password policy, or whether the
Hmm.
system is going to pay LDAP or Azure. So in Spring Boot has its own set of authentication provider,
Hmm.
and we can directly use it. So in the security layer, we can have our authentication implemented class that will do the job. And for authorization, there is this principle that is getting saved in the JWT token. So I kind of,
Hmm.
if I'm, I don't know how to actually do it, but there is this annotation that we used to do. It's called role, I guess. We will pause for example, whether it's admin or a role. So this is something that we will pause for authorization. And also, you can. This is something we can put it in the controller handle level also. And there is a way to say this set of endpoints can be accessed by the admin only in the in the security config class, I guess. And the authentication can be included with the help of the providers that's approved by the Spring Boot. There are a couple of authentication providers.
Okay. What is the annotation that is used, or what is the dependency that is used for security in Spring?
Um, Spring Security has okay. Sorry, at this moment I don't know the exact dependencies, but we need to add I think three packages for there. If I'm not, three dependencies are there. Um, And also, I think depends on the system also, right? For example, for LDAP security, authentication, we might have to add a package for the LDAP implementation also, or that can be configured in the properties. So at this moment, I am not able to clearly tell the packages.
So there is a Spring Security dependency
Hmm.
that we need to add, right? So that
Yeah,
is
correct.
huh, that comes with the Spring Framework dot security. That's the annotation that we need to use, right? And it has some annotations called say. So I want to know the names of those annotations actually, like. Uh, One of the example is enable web security. That is the name of annotation.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So that okay, that we will enable in the application, that main class enable Spring in the app class, that we will enable cannot count
Hmm. The security can be added on which levels,
any.
like controller level, or can be on method level. Do you know how to like how can we secure?
Actually, from okay. So on authorization standpoint, I am pretty sure we can add it in the endpoint. We can say add a set of pods, and we can add only this role can access this endpoint. And also on method level, we can do as access or as role or something. There is one annotation for it. And on class level also we can do for authorization. But for authentication, I'm not sure we can have a method level authentication saying that this method can do this thing. And also there is this I forgot before, I forgot the exact also prerequest. So there is this something called prerequest, that there also we have some validation. If that fails, we will route it to something else. I'm not able to correct the answer at this moment. So post operation, if I request that we can have a post operation and pre operations. So in pre
Hmm.
operations, if we need some more additional security, or we need to do some more calls, or we need to have some custom validation, we can have the filter logic. I guess there is something called filter. There also we can add a. If you want to add a more authentication, there also we used to add some authentications there.
Yes, somewhat right. Okay, moving ahead. You seems happy.
No, I mean I know it's a Spring Boot interview, but this level of Spring Boot looks like I need to brush up a lot of things.
Yeah, like was you told like this will be a Spring Boot interview?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
I'm saying ki, were you told before starting the interview, like during the scheduling guidelines, ki this will cover focusly on Spring Boot and Java?
Yeah, from interview I got it, but from company standpoint, I expected more or like problem solving, git code, those kind of aspects.
Hmm.
So because this is a framework, and usually we will directly work on. Most of the time, I read things and I forget it. At least I can keep it in memory for 2 to 3 days. After that, it will vanish. So what are the concepts that you have asked? I might have worked on it, but at this moment I couldn't. But yeah, I mean,
Understood.
no, nothing comes from the official company. But interview told that it might be on the Spring Boot Java nodes. But yeah, they are kind of
Okay.
notified me.
Maybe you will enjoy the next rounds.
I'm
Okay.
not sure.
Next.
Let's see.
Uh, Next questions. Okay. Huh. Uh, Typical Java question. Ki how will you define immutable? First of all, what is immutable class? Give me answer to that.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So, immutable class, immutable class, not immutable objects. Immutable class.
Immutable class.
Okay.
What's the difference between immutable class and object? Object is like one instance of class only, no?
That's where I am kind of confused. How can we make class immutable? I can think of making the object immutable.
Okay, when you say that string is an immutable class, right? So what do you say? Ki, like string object will also be immutable, no? Like if I am
Okay.
giving string s1 is equal to
Hmm.
h1, so s1 is immutable, right? The object is immutable automatically if a class is immutable.
Got it. Got it. So the concept of immutable is once it is instantiated, it should not be modified after some point of time by any of the user, by any of the callers or me. Yeah. And we need come only this one. Yeah, we can when I use final words for making the object as immutable, but for this list and all it won't work. For example, I can define element in the list. Even if I say ABC, um, ABC equal to new. Okay, I will try to thinking out loud here. So what I'm saying
Like
is, if I say
uh, sorry to interrupt, Keshan. I'm saying ki you just copy this code from class ABC to this dashboard, like to this code pair screen, and you can start writing for that. Ki, like how will
yeah,
you make it? Like possibly change, make modifications in this code so that it becomes class ABC becomes immutable.
okay. So
Go to the last of this page and paste it. Yeah, right.
final. All I need to do is put a final keyword to make ABC as immutable. I can't override or instantiate any new object with this. I can't assign, but I can still do the abc.list.clear. I can do modify whatever I wanted in the list. This is one of the easiest way to make the object immutable. I never used a final in the class keyword. I don't think we can we use this like this. I don't think so. I don't think so. Um, on class level, and one more thing is, out of this activity, are you expecting if I modify a class at the I mean, if I make the class as immutable, I can still modify the list of the methods, right? List elements based on the list methods, right? For example, I can do add, still add, even though if ABC is immutable, but ABC's object add and object list, right? That ABC's object of ABC's field list, I can modify its elements however I want. Are you fine with that, or
I'm not
you
fine with
want
that.
the list also should be immutable?
No, list, suppose someone is like how immutable works. uh, like first of all explain me ki how, when we say ki string is immutable, give me example of something like ki, like define one string s1 is equal to abc, and now abc I will write it here, no? So tell me your like string s1 is equals to abc, right? And now s1 plus def, you know. So this
Hmm.
is possible, like there's nothing which is restricting to doing this, right? This can be done. But what it will give, like suppose there is s2 string s2 s1 plus def, or maybe uh, we can say ki s1 is equal to s1 is equal to s1 plus def. Now what will s1 be? S1 will be abc def. But this abc def and abc, these will be two separate objects in, you know, like these are not the same objects anymore, because we cannot modify s1. If we are modifying, we are just creating a new copy of the object, right? So that's what
Hmm.
immutable functions are, right?
Okay.
You understood it, or you have any doubt?
No, I mean,
Obviously this s1 will be garbage collected because no one is pointing it to it now, you know. So suppose not sure, I'm giving reverse interview. S1 is
But
for
no. But my question is, so when it comes to immutable, you can't modify the same variable. For example, I can't say S1 equal to S1 plus DEF. If I can modify the existing S1,
hmm,
then it's mutable, right? Because I'm modifying the S1. I agree. I can't modify. I can't replace A with Z, or I can replace B with Y. But I can override the variable. But with the
are you
immutability,
are you sure about this?
yeah, I'm sure about this. Because with
Then
immutability, overriding the variable should not happen. That's what my understanding about the immutability.
so accordingly, if I perform this operation, string S1 is equal to ABC, and then I'm doing S1 plus DF, you are saying it should throw exception, is it?
String should not. I'm questioning. My doubt is string immutable or not? If it is, because I'm modifying the string, but according to immutability, you should not modify the existing variable, right?
Is string a
That is,
immutable class or mutable class? Question goes to that. Is string a mutable class or immutable class?
hmm.
String class or not?
I can't. Yeah, string is immutable.
Immutable. Sure. Mutable or immutable?
Immutable.
Immutable.
Yeah,
Okay.
this one throw exception. This one throw exception. Okay.
No, I'm asking. This is not saying. I'm not saying that this will throw exception. I'm asking, will it throw exception?
No, it won't. It won't throw. It won't throw.
But according to your definition of immutable, it should.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. All I. Okay.
Okay,
So
define.
I think I confused myself with constant and immutable. Constant.
Hmm.
So final. Okay.
But what
String is
is?
immutable class, but not a constant one. You can vary. Constant means you can't vary anything. Got it. Okay.
Do we have constant class in Java?
I don't think so.
Then why are you getting confused?
Okay, I was confused with this the statement that I made. I thought I can simply make this as a immutable with the final keyword. Never mind. So okay, immutable is not a constant. Yes. So you want me to make this ABC as immutable? Hmm. Software message. Okay. Hmm.
Do you need any hint?
Um, I just uh, okay. So for immutability, for example, let's say I'm having an object one, and I'm using multiple methods.
Okay.
Let's say there are some methods A, B, C, and I'm passing these things, object one. So if I don't want, modify this object one as object one state or object one variable, then I will make this object one as immutable. The one way to achieve easily is put it as a final object.
Are you writing somewhere? Kya? Okay. Huh. Final object.
If it is a final, then this object becomes a constant,
Okay.
and no one can override it. If they try to override something on this object, they will face exceptions. So immutably, immutable. So here immutable comes into the picture. I can't assign the reference.
I
For
think
example,
we
I
are
can't
getting
assign object
confused.
only got object to or something like that. What?
We are confused between singleton and immutable. I think there is
Uh,
one called singleton, and another one is immutable.
no, I mean, so, okay. So, okay,
Single.
let's
What is
say
singleton?
singleton means the object will be instantiated only one time, and that same object will be used across multiple places. For
Hmm.
example, the data connections and everything, right? It will be instantiated only one time.
Hmm.
So that is a singleton. So it will there will be only one reference for the object, and that will be used across all the places in the project.
Correct. And now define what is immutable.
Okay. Now, okay, immutable.
Can immutable class have multiple objects?
Yeah, it can have. It can have. It can have. So
Oh my
my
god.
point is, okay. Let's say, for example, oh,
Again,
you're
I
saying
think
so.
I have to rush through rest of the sections. I'm really sorry. I just forgot the time clock. It's only 15 minutes left. Okay. Uh,
Okay.
so I'm sorry. I'll have to drop this question. Okay.
Okay.
Just give me 1 minute. Uh, how hash map works? Can you tell me? And what is how it is different from concurrent hash map?
So Ashmarks map has a key and value, and it has an index. So for every key, we will have an index, and we will have the array of indexes. So for a key for a particular key, we will have the index, and we will use it to save the element. So in the system, we will have some variable like this, which will have a massive number of arrays. Okay, inside it will have an array, and also for a given key, we will have some key function that will give us the exact index where to save, and based on this index, we will save this value.
Okay.
And the representation, it can be, I think, we should be able to save multiple values in a single index.
Hmm. And how does it save it? Because it can override.
Yeah, yeah. So, for example, in zero, I can have multiple values like this. And
Hmm.
for index one, for example, there are some keys which can have multiple values. One, two. So it will save it in the form of index only, internally.
In the form of index. What is index? Form of index.
Array
Like
index.
array index. And what will be the size of that array? Hello.
Uh, that size is not fixed actually. For initially, it will be a lesser number, and if it reaches the capacity, and it will double, it will become double, and it will move on and move on. So
Okay. Hmm. Then what is the time complexity of searching in a hash map?
it's order of one,
Is it always order of
and
one?
um, yes, yes.
Okay.
And to avoid this collision and all, so it's a basic representation. It might be like this, but in the actual implementation of Java, it's always order of one. That is what, on average case, it is order of one. And And there is this algorithm to avoid this collision and all, where multiple elements are getting filled into the same index.
Okay. How? Okay. Mm, moving ahead, I need to ask question on uh, how do you connect Java application to your database?
Java application to your database. Okay.
Which is the library that you use?
So, Spring Data. Okay. So I used Postgres for that. I need to add two dependencies. So Spring Data JPA that I will use, and for implementation, there is something called PostgreSQL Core. That dependency also I need, and also in application properties, I will say the dialect of the database is Postgres, and also I give all the username, password, and the JDBC URL and everything in the application properties, and that's how we can connect to the database. And for connection pool management, if it required for additional connection pool management, we can use connection pool tools like Hikari CP or C3P0. So for managing multiple connections in applications.
Got it. Have you used cache anytime?
Yeah, I have used Redis, and also I have used EH cache also.
Which cache?
EH cache of the Spring Boot. Plus EH cache,
Yes.
yeah.
Hmm. Okay. And what are the disadvantages of using cache?
So caching saves the data, and the fetches are the fetches are really faster because of in memory. But there are sometimes we might have to do a trade-off because one is we need to find a way to what are the elements to cache properly and how long it should save there. There are times we might see we might show the old updated record. For example, so the advantage is the app will be faster, but the disadvantage is the data. If it is not in the cache, then people might see the older data or irrelevant data in the application. So that is a one disadvantage. So, but and also it depends on the implementation that we are doing. Whether you need to first save whether people have to see the updated data immediately, or we need to or it's okay to show the different data now and whatever it is put it in cache. So cache update is kind of it's tricky here when it comes to showing the relevant data to the user.
Okay. Okay, I think we're done with the technical questions. I want some behavioral questions to address. Okay, I will ask one or two questions here. How do you keep stakeholders informed if you foresee any delay in the delivery of a particular project that you are responsible for?
Inform if you foresee any delay in the delivery for you. So communication is the key here, and I will definitely schedule a meeting, and also I will go with the points. What are all the reasons behind it? For example, is it because of engineering effort was underestimated, or is it because of change in the scope? I will go with the clear points. I will try to go with the and also I will try to go with the new estimation. Okay, this is something delayed, and when it can be delivered, what is the rescheduled? What is the rescheduled timeline now? So these 3 points I will take into consideration, and I will try to convey this into the stakeholder as soon as possible.
Okay, just give me 1 minute.
it answer my question or
That answers your question.
okay?
That's the last question that I want to ask.
Can you explain any situation when you brought product clarity when there was ambiguity? How you handle? So how I am getting a clear idea from ambiguous situation of the product? Okay. Mm, So it's actually critical. So whenever there is a feature development, we always have this acceptance criteria. First, we will write down all the things that we have understood, and we will try to evaluate with the product owner. Hey, this is what our understanding. Because product owners, some people are really good. Some people are really good at explaining everything from corner cases to everything in the document and Figma. But there are some cases, we might have understood something else, but
Mm.
whatever they have tried to pitching or something else. So the acceptance criteria always works. Try to write all the acceptance criteria of the product of the feature that you are working on, and get validate with the product owners. And if you find something, this is something we can't, we are not able to understand. It's okay. It's okay to be shameless once in a while. Ask for a meeting again to understand the product even more with from the product owners. And also, it's always good to write down this is what our understanding is and this is what we are going to implement. And if anything wrong, please guide us on how can we fix this better. So those kind of situations, yeah, I mean, so it has to be documented properly, and definitely there will be a lot of ambiguous if you are going to serve customers, if you are building a good real world product. Those kind of things has to be communicated properly, and acceptance criteria is the key that I personally feel, and you should go with the points always, and if you and also ambiguity means you should not say I didn't understand anything, I'm not able to understand. It's not like you should point out on what part you are not able to understand. At which point is not clear. So those kind of questions you should be always prepared before going to such meetings. That will be really help us to all the people involved in the meeting.
Got it. Seems quite fine with the responses. Okay, I think I'm done from my side. No, second.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Vivek, like, thank you for joining the interview. And do you have any question that I can address?
You have any feedback on me? Like, so there are a lot of fundamentals that I need to improve that I can clearly see. You have any good resources or something like that I can things, and also to be a if I want to say I'm a good at Spring Boot, what are the other things that I need to focus on?
I think you have done pretty good in the interview. But some things, if some interview is focused on Spring Boot, then you should be aware of like the query params annotation and such kind of controller and REST controller. Such kind of annotation should be you should be this should be on tips,
Hmm.
right? Uh, like advice is also a very important question for like knowledge of Spring Boot. So little bit brush up on Spring Boot might help you.
Okay.
For
Yeah.
Java part, also same feedback. Little bit more brush up.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Keshwin.
Yeah. Thank you.